in Stockholm, and we're gonna get checked in at the hotel, and then in a few hours we're gonna go to Stark Jiujitsu and have our first session there. It's gonna be very nice. I've trained there before with Carlos last summer, and we met Max, who's the professor there, and he is such a good guy. We're gonna do some Jiu-Jitsu at Stark finally, and it's about damn time we get some rounds in.
Rob's leading the way because he knows where it is.
I'm trying to, and I have my secret weapon. So we're at the Stark Jiujitsu in Stockholm with Max Lindblad. We just finished the Friday in-house sparring open mat kind of vibe. So tell us a little bit about Stark and the story.
The core members, me, my wife, a couple of other guys, we used to train in a different academy, and we weren't really satisfied with the environment and everything. We wanted to do our own thing, and we started up our academy. We started up in a Thai boxing gym, 40 square meters, very small, very packed, with tiny mats. As soon as we got enough members, we bought real mats. Eventually moved into a bigger room inside the Thai boxing gym. Then I think a year in, we found our own first space, which is just around the corner here. But after we've been running the gym for maybe 6 months or something, somebody threw a Molotov cocktail through the window and burned the academy down.
It was a Krav Maga guy.
I'm not going to speculate on who it was, but we got a lot of help from the community. We set up a GoFundMe, which collected a lot of money. Fortunately, because we didn't get any money from the insurance, we went into the old place, renovated it, then eventually got this.
When you started your own academy, what was the kind of vibe that you were looking to set and have and spread?
For me, competition is the most important part of Jiu-Jitsu, or most fun part. So obviously I want to have a gym where people competed. But also that wasn't the only thing I wanted. I also wanted everybody to enjoy the gym. But first we start building the competition class, and then we start building on the basics and stuff like that. And now it's grown so much. We even have classes for people with autism, ADHD and stuff like that. So we try to provide Jiu-Jitsu for everybody.
And what about your Jiu-Jitsu journey? Tell us how it started.
I found Jiu-Jitsu on the summer break, and I felt like this is the thing I want to do with my life. So I basically dropped my studies and just focused on Jiu-Jitsu. I never looked back. I felt like this is what I want to do with my life. And it was hard the first 12 years. Now I'm very successful in my life, I would say. I get to do what I want to do the most in life all day. The gym is going great, my students having great results. Even though I just stopped competing myself, everything feels good. I don't know exactly the amount of members, but we're climbing to be 500. Probably gonna hit that number pretty soon. I hope by the end of the year we're gonna be around 600.
If you could say a few heartful and important tips from your own experience, and also when you
boil down into why people become good or not is usually about the training volume. There's so many things you can do differently with strength training, stretching, different style of training, ecological jiu-jitsu, drilling, a lot of sparring, specific sparring. But one thing you can't take away from the equation is mat time. And I feel like a lot of people overlook this fact. It's about mat time. Some people can handle a lot of training, some people can't handle the same amount. but it's still over time is the most important thing to add up math hours.
So in order to be a black belt under you, what are some key traits that you would look for?
There's no one criteria. The belts is a different journey for everybody, and I think that's important to remember. You can't compare the young guys with the old guys and a girl with a boy and whatever. So it's different from everybody. It's about where you are in your own journey, right? For me, the most important belt is the purple belt, maybe, because everybody should have a blue belt at one time. The purple belt for me is at least the first skill belt. When you receive a purple belt, like then you have like a skill in the sport, and then brown's gonna come, black's gonna come. And if I haven't kicked you out before you receive a purple belt, you're eventually gonna receive a black belt. And it's usually about time and stuff like that. So of course you need to be a good person. I think that's important. You need to be good at Jiu-Jitsu, but you're gonna become good at Jiu-Jitsu the more you train. It's just a matter of time. Some people it's gonna go fast, some people are gonna go take more time, but eventually you're gonna get there.
Yeah, super cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hope the music wasn't too loud.
Let's see.
Hey guys, we're here with Andrew Laxa at Laxa Jiu-Jitsu in Sweden.
Welcome
you for
to you
having
guys.
us.
No
Yes.
worries. Always nice to have visitors.
So can you tell us your story and how you got into Jiu-Jitsu?
I started Jiu-Jitsu in 2008 in the Philippines under Professor Alvin Aguilar. And at the time, there were only 2 black belts in the country, and he was one of them. Out of high school, I was planning on joining the U.S. military. But before that, I was like, man, I need to learn how to do some sort of martial arts. I wasn't a strong kid, naturally athletic kid. I was nervous that I would go into the military and I'd be an easy target. So I fought MMA twice, but I really quickly realized that the punching, getting kicked, it's not for me. But I liked the idea of being able to go really, really hard in Jiu-Jitsu and be able to do that every day. Just train super hard and not be too sore, too beat up to do it again. I love that there was a system where it benefited the small guys if they were willing to put in the work. You know what I mean? I could really see that in the beginning. I was getting squashed, but the more I started to learn technique and understand leverage and balance and body positioning, people started to feel less and less strong. I wanted to leave the Philippines, and I felt like I'd done a lot in the competition scene there. I wanted to really see what the level was like in the US. So I moved to the US, was there for a while. In this place, my goal was to really try and find my own way of doing it. Based on my experience training in different places, I just tried to get like the best of everything and try to promote that over here. And I think the culture here is very welcoming. We have a lot of people from age brackets, different backgrounds. So one of the things I'm super proud of is that here in this club, we teach all the classes in English. And in a town like Uppsala, where you have a lot of people from different parts of Europe coming here, it's something that they really appreciate. And you could really see that people comfortable, people felt like it was the kind of place where people would come in, train, and they wouldn't leave right away. You know what I mean?
They want to hang around.
Another 30 minutes, an hour. Yeah, it's a very laid back culture. But with that said, we train super hard. Like I said, I have a really high respect for the way that, for Jiu-Jitsu and the way that it should train it. And I think that it's cool to want to come to train and have a good time, but there also has to be a level of commitment to getting better. You're also training to get better. There has to be some sort of direction and some sort of focus, progression. I'm sometimes I think I'm too chill with certain things, you know? I also understand that when I say okay, we're going hard, you know? Hard, when I say going hard, I mean, I try to encourage people to push themselves. I'm not the one that's gonna tell people how much they should go, because I want them to make that decision for themselves and to make that commitment themselves. We have an environment where we encourage people to to be honest with themselves and to push as hard as they can. And we're not a competition team. I don't consider ourselves a competition team, but we are very active in competing. I always tell people, you gotta try competing at least twice, not once, because usually, gonna be a crap experience more or less, unless, like a natural, you're getting good really quick. But I think twice is a good kind of standard where, okay, you get the first one out of the way with all the nerves and everything, and then the second one, you can give yourself sort of a proper shot at it. Familiar with the nerves, you're familiar with the routine of competing, and you can focus a little bit more on performance. And personally, have not always had a relationship with competing, and what I mean by that is not something that came naturally with me. It's something that I had to really teach myself to do, but I've recognized the benefits of competing and how much growth goes into a person, whether or not they do well in competing. Just preparing and committing to a competition is going to level you up so much, and that's what I want my students to experience. So we try to take any opportunity to progress, and competition is just one of those sort of shortcuts to getting better almost. Yeah.
You feel is your greatest achievement in your professional career in Jiu-Jitsu so far?
I have kids, 7 and 5 years old, and the last few years my life has been balancing, being there for them while also building this community. So I don't think like competition-wise, I've been able to give myself like the go at it. I've had some really good success. I did the Master 1 Europeans 2024, and I won 3 matches. I lost my 4th by judge's decision, and this sounds like I'm super salty, and yeah, I am, but it was the worst judge's decision on planet Earth. I know how that other guy won that match, but I ended up getting bronze, and it was a really stacked division. The level was really high. So competition-wise, I can't say, but one thing I am very proud of is if I look back at what I've done, I Jiu-Jitsu in the Philippines, 17 years old. I never thought one day that I would be able to call myself a black belt that can keep up with the high-level guys in the international scene. More than that, I think moving to Sweden, which is a kind of country to move to, and being able to build a community and build a team from scratch is something I'm super proud of. It is something special and something I'm really happy that I've been able to do.
What does it take for someone to be a black belt under you? Like what qualities?
I have no idea. I hate grading. Honestly, I think it's one of the hardest things to do as a professor, because you have to consider everyone individually. You have to really know your student, have, I think, a good relationship, a good understanding of what their goals are, what they want to get out of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, why they train, what motivates them. And then on top of that, you have to balance, whatever it is your standard is, or what you think, or how good you think a blue, brown, and black is supposed to be. I have a black belt for, it's 5 years now. So I'm a baby black belt, you know what I mean? I haven't been in that long, so I feel it's so hard to say what it is, what a person needs to be a black belt under me. But I would say, I think as a black belt, obviously you have to have the ability, the technical knowledge, but I think you need to be able to lead by example. I think that's like the first I'm looking for. Even with lower belts, like guys who I point as coaches at the club, purple, brown belts, I think that it's so important that if as a higher belt or as a coach, you expect somebody to do something, it should be something that you're willing to do yourself. And like I push people to compete if I myself, I'm not competing, you know what I mean? Or I would never try to, when I competition training, I'm not standing on the side yelling at people. I'm scrapping with my guys and I'm going through all the along with them. And I think it's so important that you're putting yourself out there and that your students see that, because that's super motivating for them, and that shows them that whatever knowledge or technique you're imparting on them, it comes from an honest place. You know what I mean? Like it comes from a place where I've tried it. This is something that I've been working on for a long time, and that's why I'm showing it to you. And I think for somebody to get a black belt under me, that's one of the main things I'm looking for across the board, regardless of whether they're a competitor, whether they're a hobbyist, whether they're older. That's something I'm always looking for, just leading by example in all facets.
What is your one tip for jiu-jitsu competitors?
Just because you're good at jiu-jitsu doesn't mean you're going to be a good competitor. So you have to practice competing. I had to kind of shove competing down my throat. Like, I didn't enjoy it in the beginning.
Was it natural for you?
It wasn't natural. Like I said, I came from a skateboarding background, you know. Skateboarders, we go, we have a session, we skate, we hype each other up. There's no competitiveness like, oh, I'm going to land this, you're going to land. We don't do that. So
just fun, right?
It's just, it's just for fun, and you're just kind of constantly encouraging each other. With competition, it's a little bit different. You have to deal with the nerves and also, you know, the setting of performing in front of people, and then, you know, your mind plays tricks on you. You have these expectations, or you think people have these expectations of you, or you think people will look at you differently if you don't, you know, perform or this and that. It's all a lot of like mind games. But the only way to regulate that is through experience. You're never going to be able to regulate that like competing once a year, twice a year. You have to be so used to the pressure, and honestly, you have to be used to losing. People don't compete because of the fear of losing. Man, once you've lost a lot of times, there's no, like, what's one more? If I've lost 10 times, what's the 11th time? You know what I mean? If I've
don't care anymore.
You don't care anymore. And it's so liberating when you have that, because you can just have fun. When you're not worried about all these external pressures, you can allow yourself to just relax, do the best jiu-jitsu you can. And for me, that's something I did not pick up until I was a brown belt, you know? And I think when you look at all these like really high level guys, they're really, really good at performing in competition because they're spending white, blue, purple, brown, winning and losing. Yeah, so I think one advice is to just do it as often as you can. Another advice, and this one's really, really helpful. This is something I got from my master, from Finfu. Winning and losing is not, you have no control over that. You know what I mean? And I think that's also another thing people fixate on. If people realize that no matter what you do, whether you have the best camp in the world, or you're training with the best guys, or the preparation is going as smooth as it can go, that doesn't guarantee you're going to win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I've had tournaments where I felt on fire, felt super good, lost first round. I've joined tournaments where I'm not super happy with my training. I'm getting tapped by some of my brown belts, smoke everybody. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You know what I mean? The only thing we have control over is our preparation. So when you let go of all the externals, like what the result is, the bracket, people, you know, these guys, I have students looking at smooth comp. I'm gonna stop looking at that shit. Oh, I'm fighting this guy, he has this record on smooth comp, he's at this 27 wins, blah, blah, blah. How does this help you? How does this help you perform on the day? It doesn't. Don't mind the brackets, don't look at who you're fighting. Focus on your jiu-jitsu, focus on your fitness, focus on your strategy, focus on your game. And when you do that, it's easier to have fun.
Yeah.
And if you're having fun, you're gonna display the best jiu-jitsu that you can.
Yeah.
I think that's like, and that seems so obvious, but that is really, really hard to actually implement. And so practicing that as soon as you can start competing and having that kind of mindset and getting used to that mindset, the more success you will have later on, I believe.
Okay, thank you. That's a great answer.
please summarize our camp here in Sweden before we head back to Spain?
So we went and visited Stark Jiujitsu in Stockholm. The level there was insane, so good. It was really good to roll with some of the people there. It was great to experience. We'll definitely be back to train there again. Today we also visited Laxa Jiu-Jitsu in
Uppsala.
Uppsala, thank you. Andrew was amazing, really nice guy. Hope to train with him again at some point. So overall, I think it was a raging success. I feel like I've learned a lot.
I also feel like the formats that we are slowly getting used to and meeting cool professors and like hearing their stories and how they run their academies is a very fun way for us to deeper
learn
connect.
More about jiu-jitsu. Yeah,
really cool.
Definitely discovering new places and getting different perspectives from people about their journey and the way that they teach and the way that the academies operate. It's nice to see and it's exciting.